J. Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Never mind what they've done. You see, we forget, too, that the most potent drugs ever developed came from plants. You can make plants grow anything. We know how far advanced they are to do with brain chemistry. And today, with the various high-potent drugs they have, they can make plants produce anything, dumb you down, make you passive, obese, whatever they want. They can really switch the whole chemistry of your body, and that's why you bring genetic bio experts in to make your food. Food is a weapon, always been used as a weapon.
All right.
And
absolutely, at the United Nations Food Conference in '96 in China, the Director General of the Food Program said we will use food as a weapon, and we don't apologize for it.
That's right.
When we come back, I'm going to back you up, Alan Watt, because there's an entire industry for decades called pharmacological crops, where they brag they can make the plants do whatever they want them to do, and they're medicalizing them and using them as weapons against us right now. Stay with us. Key information. We're going to play some clips of Lord Rothschild and Maurice Strong. We also have clips of them talking about how we're cannon fodder. The scum! We've almost got them. Look at them. They're almost sterile. They're all dying of cancer. They'll never fight us. Look at those police serving us, thinking they're part of the system. All implanted. When the hormonal fluctuation triggers it will metastasize. All on record, all laughing at you. They're talking about Republicans and Democrats, Labor and Tories. As if there's any other little slaves. Alan Watt is our guest. I remember about 6 years ago, I read on air an AP report about a Texas-based company, Protogene. And it said that they had a pharmacological crop that grew live AIDS virus in the corn. And then it had been open-air planted, and then they'd violated some rule, and so it had to be destroyed. And it also produced a bunch of other things. And people called me, didn't believe that they have crops that grow live viruses or bacteria. The BT corn, one of the most popular corns out there, has been linked by major government studies in Germany and Europe and also in China to killing the honeybees, because it's a live pesticide that is grown in the corn itself, and you still eat it. Now, this is all the big joke, and everything's about sterilization. And so now they're cracking down on organic farming and everything because, folks, they mean business. This is life and death. They are eugenicists, and so they have thousands. In fact, Google right now, everybody, just minimize that video, pharmacological crops, that term, pharmacological crops. You'll get millions of hits, all announcing, oh, this crop's got 14 different animal and 10 different plant and 5 different insect genes, and it produces all these chemicals, or it produces a live virus, and we harvest it for vaccines because they can program plants to do whatever they want. Then you tell the public, kind of like the famous story of me saying they have spider goats, part spider, part goat. And I had the CEO of the company on in upstate New York at an Army base, and it produces body armor out of the milk. And I had a guy at Conan's Pizza, I was picking a pizza up, come up and poke me in the back and almost start a fight. I used to like you, but you're a liar. I took biology at UT, and they don't have part spider goats. And I said, sir, it's CBS News. And he got in my face and kind of almost bulled up, and I had to say, look, not lying, but believe what you want. Alan, they think we're living in 1900. They don't know. This is Buck Rogers.
That's right. The average person has been given the biggest mind job in this generation than any previous generations ever had before. And Brzezinski is such a massive player in all this, but he is an expert on the mind of populations. He was the head of the NSA for a long, long time. He's been advisor to, I think, every president behind the scenes. And he said himself that shortly the public, in his own book, Between Two Ages, shortly the public will be unable to reason for themselves. They'll truly believe the news media. In fact, they'll look at the news media as an extension of the reasoning powers. The media will do the reasoning for them. And they've trained people since the 1970s that that is so.
Well, it's the semantic terms, too, Alan. People can't even understand basic English now.
They can't, yeah.
And they think warning them is showing off. Like the yuppie thing is, oh, you're telling me there's corruption. like that, like it's a mental illness, like make-believe, that if they make-believe there's not trouble, it's not there.
That's right. And the public, too, will believe the same thing that you tell them. If Barbara Walters comes on and spins it, that's okay. It's suddenly talked about all over. But if you say it, no, you're nobody, you say.
Exactly. It exists when they say it, because they're saying it's good. But when you say it, it simultaneously doesn't exist. That's double, triple thing. Stay there. Back in 1 minute.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
The establishment, through psychological warfare, one thing they do is they make the yuppies and the know-it-alls and the general public slaves who aren't even tuned into news. You know, there's the control paradigm of news, but below that there's the strata of people that just watch sports and act cool all day, or, you know, basically don't even know the three branches of government. They get them to identify with being ignorant, that it's cool to be stupid. In all these teenager movies and TV show, the guy that gets all the girls is the guy that doesn't care about politics or the world or history, till the public becomes Miss Teen South Carolina, who can't even talk. And then she's honored by the media for being what you're supposed to be like, that it's cool and beautiful to be an empty-headed idiot who's going happily up the carousel at Logan's Run, you know, to be euthanized. So they value their ignorance. They value their bondage. They will say, there is no such thing as a New World Order for decades. Now they announce, oh, it's a new bank of the world, world government, carbon taxes, you'll pay to private banks. And we go, hey, we said that forever. And I've basically had major newspapers tell me, well, Alex, you're still basically crazy. The stuff exists, but you were just kind of lucky in your schizophrenia. You imagined all this, and now it's happening, but it's good, but you're still crazy. Or it goes further. This stuff exists, but it doesn't exist. It exists when the establishment says it, but then it doesn't exist when you say it exists but is bad. And people value, they kind of get a look like, you know, the general slaves, like, I don't believe you. No. I mean, how was that done psychologically from your study? Reveling in being idiots, reveling in being conned, reveling in being sterilized, reveling in dying of implanted cancers.
Well, again, very good books have been written on this particular type of psychology to do with the masses. One very old book was simply called Propaganda, written in the 1800s. That was the start of it, and then Bernays picked up on it, the nephew of Freud. And people don't even know that Freud's nephews are still advising British governments today on mass psychology, direct descendants from Freud. But Bernays picked up on it, and he knew how to manipulate mass cultures to create what was called a sameness, you see. Because the first step towards government running the masses must be the masses. You can have no individuality. Therefore, at the same time, and Bernays, by the way, at 23 years of age, was picked to go with President Wilson to set up the League of Nations, because they knew this was the embryo for a world government. And right from the beginning, they wanted to start to see how they could get diverse cultures all on the same direction.
And he said they would use feminism to break up the family as well, and he's the reason we eat bacon with eggs. They had feminists walk with cigarettes, smoking them, yep. And they said that's even better. Then we can kill the women with the cigarettes, but it'll make it cool as we murder them. And the women are like, oh, I'm dying. I love being conned. It's just hardcore savage.
Mm-hmm. But they also knew what they did. They broke down man and woman through all the stages of development from childhood onwards, and created massive marketing departments through Madison Avenue to cater to every single age group and gender, etc., with the intent that 50 years down the road, they start to bring the differences of the gender into the one same stream. And that's when unisex broke out, the unisex fashions. Everything was the same, male and female and so on. They planned this, as I say, at the end of World War I.
And that's a cult society. Everybody looking the same, everybody talking the same, dressing the same, bowing to Globalon, and controlling all the other little fake niches and creating fake counterculture movements to carry new World Order changes in to make it trendy and cool to then progress people into the crucible when all it is a furnace, a blast furnace, and like little moths, we're just happily flapping in. I love the government. I love the sameness. I'm a trendy. Bzzz, you know, right into the flame as they burn to bits. And you can even say, look at the moths being burned up. You know, look at all the girls dying of Gardasil, and they go, shut up, I'm giving my daughter the shot. The daughter starts having the convulsion. The mother claps. Oh, she's dying. Oh, I'm liberal. Oh, I'm murdering my daughter.